Zooming together with our friend Matt Moore.
Zooming together. Hey, Matt.
Hey, everybody. How you doing?
Good. Is this technically like, this could be our own version of Zumba. The less physical version of Zumba.
I like this. Yeah.
I understand I have a little bit of a delay, which sort of fits for me with Zumba as well. So something a little behind the rest of the group.
That's amazing.
Playing the part of Bruce Lee in this.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so just ignore the fact that I'm a little delayed, I guess. That's part of the fun of doing a Zoom meeting. We've all experienced weird Zoom meetings with pets wandering in and stuff. So, just experiencing that together.
This is why we have Zoom fatigue.
Exactly.
This is it.
Well, we're so glad to talk to you, and we're so excited about the reason that we're all talking together. This is something that is unprecedented. I think the one thing that we've all can agree upon is the fact that this season has been unprecedented. We've certainly been through in 2020 some nightmarish things, but there have been so many good things, so many God things that have come out of this. And the fact that you've got people who've been working to take care of people around the world who are in poverty. I mean, the worst of the worst, together for the very first time. Groups like Compassion and World Vision and Food for the Hungry. That's amazing. And this is happening because of COVID-19.
Absolutely. We live in unprecedented times with some unprecedented problems, but it's like you said, that creates an opportunity for God to present unprecedented solutions.
Yeah.
And
first started, my husband and I were talking about having traveled to many countries where the poverty is just, you can't even imagine until you've seen it. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. And thinking about, for instance, India, where we saw what we thought was a pile of rags on a street corner. And as we got closer, we saw it was actually children, but they were so small and so in need of help that you couldn't even tell from a distance. And just thinking of their situation and what they must be facing trying to deal with this pandemic. I mean, it's certainly difficult for those of us who are in more developed countries, yes, but we have safety nets. We have things in place to help us out to a certain extent. And there are so many people that just don't have that.
Yeah, absolutely. And their ability to bounce back from something like this. We all freaked out for the first couple of weeks because we felt like we were going to run out of toilet paper and Clorox wipes.
Yeah.
But the reality for a first world country, or for a third world country, I should say, that some of these areas that literally are living like so below the poverty line, something like this comes along and it's game over.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I think in some ways that's the reality of the poverty stricken around the world already struggling, and then COVID hitting. And I think these three organizations specifically, everyone feeling in some ways powerless, but these three organizations saying, well, what can we do? And there's something really, I think there's a teaching moment in the sense of Compassion, Food for the Hungry, and World Vision saying, you know what, we can't do this on our own.
Yeah.
We can't solve this on our own, and so it presents an opportunity for three organizations coming together for one powerful moment in time.
Yeah. What's really cool is the wide-reaching effects that this is going to have. This one night, these 2 hours tonight, is going to impact 110 million kids who are impacted by poverty. And when you start thinking about the economic impact that that's going to have on them and the opportunity to not only feed them and care for them in that sense, but to provide them with education. And I know this is also going to be providing healthcare supplies and things that they don't have opportunity to put their hands on without help. This is really amazing. And the fact that we get to be a part of it, a part of God's kingdom work, to do what the Bible calls us to care for the least of these. It's a really amazing opportunity.
Absolutely. And when you save the life of a child, you don't just, it doesn't just affect that child. The ripple effects of one life saved are far, far reaching. And that's, I think, artists who've worked with these organizations for a long time, have tried to share in some ways the far reaching effects that partnering with them can have, not just on the life of a child, but on the family, on a community, on a country. Yeah. And so it's amazing when you think of the amount of people that will get to be impacted by, a couple hour long concert and the response that people could generate during that time.
I love that. And I think that most of us at one point or another over the past few months have thought, man, I wish there was something I can do. We almost feel just immobilized. We're feeling helpless, wondering what we can do to reach out to those who are most in need of help. And I love that this is a tangible thing we can do right now and can impact so many people. And it's frankly something really fun that we all get to be a part of.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I think that's one of the things about the time in which we live. We're all still looking for ways to stay and feel connected to one another and feel like we are contributing and making a difference. And I think Unite to Fight Poverty is going to be one of those ways that we'll look back, and maybe not on this side of heaven, we'll see the full ripple effects. It's like I always say, it's one of those things that it probably won't be till you get on the other side and God shows you see when you made that commitment that time, the effect that it had, so it's and I think that's why all the artists got involved in the middle of craziness, found ways to work together, to play together. There's some really amazing collaborative performances you're going to see.
Give us a taste. We want to know.
Don't do that without giving us like a sneak peek. Come on.
Okay, who collaborates together? Tell us.
Well, I could tell you from personally, I'm not going to say that, but I will say you may or may not see me and Phil Wickham and Blanca together.
Nice.
Oh, sweet.
Which is like, when would that have ever happened? So before. So, I mean, I think the rest you're gonna have to tune in, But
I gotta ask you, because you were there, and this is what's really cool about this event, because we've all seen some of the social distance concerts where everybody's kind of been performing in their own space. This was a pre-recorded event where many of you guys got together in Nashville and recorded together. So it's like this is a live, legit concert event, something like we haven't seen in this season, which is really cool. But like Stephen Curtis Chapman's a part of this, and his son's band, Colony House, is a part of this.
Please tell me they collaborate.
It would be a shame for them not to, right?
That would be just wrong.
I would agree, but we're going to have to tune in to find out.
Oh, come on. We were told you were going to give us secrets.
No, I'm not going to divulge.
All right. That means we just have to tune in.
Okay.
We have no choice.
Have to tune in.
Yeah.
Can you tell us? Can you confirm this? We heard that there was a song based on an old Beastie Boys song, and it says, "You got to unite to fight." Is that right?
I have no idea, but I feel like if someone did that, it probably would have been Toby Mac.
He's the only one I could see doing that, and
he's like,
by the way,
he could pull it off. Yeah,
I'm guessing that's probably not happening.
Why? If it hasn't happened, then we need an addendum.
All right. Perfect. We're going to need to dress you up
before tonight.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to need you to get a baseball cap, put it sideways, some baggy jeans.
Oh my goodness.
And a real baggy, like A's
baseball
baseball jersey. That'd be great.
Well, what's exciting for you is, I would imagine, as an artist, being able to be in a room with friends who you haven't been able to see for a long time. I can't imagine how hard this has been, being a worship leader, being a touring artist, to be away from the people that you love, because you can see it when you walk out on stage and you sit at a piano and you lead us all in worship. There is a part of you that comes alive that we don't see except for in that moment. And I would imagine as a musician, this has been a really difficult season for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Music is something that is meant to be shared. It's meant to be communal. And I think Christianity, there's a lot of different belief systems in the world, but Christianity by its very nature is about God becoming one of us, but not like us, being like us in all things but sin. But then, his death and resurrection on the cross, it like redeems the whole human experience, right? So then our Jesus, taking on flesh, it elevates the human experience. And so I think in this season, that's one of the things that I think everyone sort of tangibly felt, is that the church has always been together.
Yeah.
and what happens, during this time. And so I've thought a lot about the loneliness of God and the loneliness of Jesus during this time,
Mm-hmm.
and his longing for, the whole world, but his church, his bride, to be his hands and feet, to help unite people, to help reconcile people to one another. And sometimes that happens, it's always supposed to happen here first, right? In the human heart, and then in our families. So, for me, it's like the hardest thing in the world has been like not playing concerts. But then I'll wake up every day and God's like, well, your kids are here. Do you want to sing with them?
Yeah.
And trying to lean into that, which is hard. It's not easy.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, when we got to tape this event, it's like one of those gifts. Nashville's kind of at a point now, and everyone, you have to check your temperature and you have to fill out this whole questionnaire, where have you been for the past 14 days? And,
right.
But then you get in there and you're singing and playing together, and I think the level of gratitude
mm-hmm.
for that gift of worship. I will say, I don't think it took all of this stuff, for me to reach a new level of gratitude. Yeah. But I know that God can use it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I think it's a difficult time right now where Christians are wanting to be together, worshiping God together, having these sort of like, public moments where it's like we can sort of be seen and counted. And at the same time, I just encourage everyone, like, there's something to be said about encountering God in the secret place of your heart and with your family and loved ones, and leaning into that just as much. And like, even like a night like this, and this night, it's like you getting together with people and watching it and being reminded that you're not alone. You're not by yourself.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I'm wondering as well, I've been speculating about how much creative, artistic things are going to come out of this time. Have you found that maybe God is stirring in you some new music, that this time has been a time of birthing something new? Because you look back in history, and oftentimes the darkest times after that is when art just flourished. Have you found that as God kind of stirring some new music in you? I know we just have Alive and Breathing that we've just gotten, and we love it, by the way. Love it so much. But have you felt like there's been like some new stuff stirring in you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, I was on the road show, which is sponsored by Compassion, and we did one weekend, and then the tour shut down. And I got home, and immediately I had this sense like God was like right here, and he was like, there's stuff that I want to say to you, and there's stuff we got to work on in your heart, that there's like a window open, and now's the time. And it's like I said, it's not always easy. Sometimes it's real difficult. It's my 10-year wedding anniversary this year. It's not really an idea of an anniversary, celebrating an anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary, honey.
Kitchen.
We're stuck at home.
Right.
But what I'll tell you is that, I think what I would say is that creativity definitely has exploded. But I think more than that, I think the reminder of the call to God to learn to listen and to lean into him.
Oh, I love that.
And I especially like right now, because it's still like, that those are I feel like before COVID, all the things that people were struggling with was, I feel like my life's moving too fast. I feel like there's so much noise. Mm-hmm. I feel like I'm struggling to hear God. And what I would say is that, well, if you can't go anywhere, then there's a window there, and you can see, I think I said this on Instagram once, it's like where we see walls, God sees windows. And there's windows of opportunity, where you can just grow. I bought a bunch of workout equipment, and because I was like, I want to try to stay in shape. And so
you're trying to keep up with Jeremy Camp, aren't you?
Pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. Because he can bench press me. So yeah. But I think so. Yeah, I think what I would say, Kelly, is that I think, yes, there's definitely been a season of creativity. I've written a lot of songs during this time, and but more than that, I think. What was that?
Have some of them been goofy? I mean, have you written songs about like quarantine
Well,
experiences?
my daughter wrote a song for her theater group called Stuck at Home,
Nice.
and I did the music for it. And then the theater group did sort of a virtual musical, and they had Melinda Doolittle from American Idol sing it. So she's like
Oh,
singing,
That's
wow.
awesome.
she's like singing the words of a 6-year-old. Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. But
That's
um,
fantastic.
yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah, so yes, a little bit with her. We've kind of like, we've kind of goofed off, and not everything. It's hard to write directly about something. I feel like sometimes,
Yeah.
especially something as big as a pandemic. And to me, it's just more so, for one person it's a pandemic, for another person it's bankruptcy, or another person it's losing a job, or another person it's cancer. It's that, because there are some people who really haven't felt any personal effects from this whole thing. And it's not, some people are walking around going, "Why should I feel guilty?" And it's like, well, no, I think if you haven't, be grateful. And then it's always the question of like, yeah, like how can I be I mean, with alive and breathing, that's what I said is, if I have breath in my lungs, how can I use it for those who are
Yeah.
struggling to for those who are struggling to breathe, So um and I think, a night like Unite to Fight Poverty is like a great way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what's beautiful, I think, in this season is we've been reminded of the fact that the church is not a building, that we are the church. And although we may be socially distant from one another, we don't have to be distant. And there's been this real emphasis on what community looks like, and our need for one another. And I think that's been a beautiful thing. And the fact that even the title of this night, Unite to Fight Poverty, is that picture, right? It's all of us getting together as the church to do something that is kingdom work in the earth today, to bless those who are really in desperate need. And I think when we get out of our own way, it's when we really see God do amazing things. And then all the stuff that we've been so focused on, and all the things that have weighed us down, kind of wash into this oblivion, because we're at this place where we're like, wow, this is a much bigger thing that I'm a part of. And I think that's the cool thing. We realize we get
Absolutely.
to be a part of God's greater story.
Yeah, I think it says, I think it's in Second Corinthians, Christ gave to us the ministry of reconciliation. And to be reconciled is, I think, to bring things that are out of order, or things that are unjust, into a place of alignment, of justice, of reconciliation, of peace. And it's hard to have unity without reconciliation. Unity in some ways is a gift of it. So when in First John it says, I think it says, be reconciled to one another. The gift, I think one of the biggest gifts that come from that is that sense of unity. So it's a weird thing for even us as believers to think that by working together to alleviate poverty, we're helping bring about unity even in the church. Because like you said,
Yeah.
we get to be part of a bigger work than just ourselves.
That's really
I
cool.
love that.
Well, and to be on stage with as many artists that are going to be there. I mean, we're talking guys like yourself and Phil Wickham and Blanca and Toby Mack and Stephen Curtis Chapman and Matthew West. I mean, we're talking like years and years and years of Christian music being represented on that stage, performing together, united together to fight poverty and to help those around the world. And we get to be a part of that by doing our part, by watching at home and participating and giving and supporting what you guys are doing. I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it would have been amazing if we all could have been together for like one song where it's just like, we're going to get everyone in the same room. But we would have had to go to Titan Stadium probably, just for the distancing standpoint.
Well, when all this is said and done, you got to do another concert, get everybody together on the same stage.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah, that's so cool. Well, we're so excited about tonight. We're excited about what God is going to do and what he's doing and bringing all these great ministries together who've never worked together. You think about all the years that they have been serving the poor around the world with like compassion and food for the hungry and and World Vision, being that this is the first time they've ever worked together collaboratively is just so beautiful. And to think that music is what's bringing everyone together.
Love
Music is the common denominator, I think, that so often brings the body of Christ together.
Absolutely. Songs become common ground, songs become a way where some people have massive differences with one another. When you're singing a song with somebody and you can't, I always say, like, when you're singing a song with somebody, you can't yell at them.
Yeah.
And, and you're creating common ground. You're able to look at this person and say, oh, wow, well, we're both singing this. I guess we hold this in common. And if we hold this in common, maybe we can find other areas to work together.
Man, that's so good.
I love that.
One of my favorite pictures of the entire year was when in Minneapolis, after the racial unrest broke out, there were a group of protesters from all different backgrounds walking down the street, arm in arm, singing Waymaker by Michael W. Smith together. And that image has stuck in my head ever since then. But you're right, that picture of unity and God using music to bring us all together is what this night is all about. And think about how great it is to be able to work together to do something far bigger than ourselves.
It's a picture of the kingdom.
Yeah, exactly. And I get goosebumps just thinking about what God's going to do, not only in all of our hearts watching and worshiping together, but you think of the incredible work that each of these organizations have done individually over the years. And then all of that joined together. I can't even imagine what the outcome is going to be and the people that are going to be encouraged and fed and reached and shown that they're loved by God. I mean, I'm so excited. It's going to be awesome.
Okay, we got to ask you. I know I'm going to put you on the spot on this.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Favorite moment from the night. You got to give us one sneak peek.
I haven't seen the whole thing. So I'm going to be tuning in.
Of what you saw. And you can't say your own thing.
I'm sure your own thing was fun, but what have you seen? Was there something that stood out for you?
Honestly, I haven't gotten to see the whole thing yet. I literally did my part, and no, I don't. I'm going to be tuning in. No, I'm going to be tuning in. They won't even let me see the whole thing.
What do you expect will be a highlight? What do you think will be a great moment? What are you hoping will be a great moment?
They haven't given you any sneak peek
He's
of like,
seen a run of
here's
shows,
what's going to happen.
So he knows what happened in it. So maybe you can take a guess. A moment you're looking forward to.
With what you've seen on paper, what do you anticipate being your like biggest moment of the night? Other than you and Phil Wickham and Blanca singing
Which
together.
will be a great night.
Yes.
A great moment in the night. Yes.
I may have seen Michael W. Smith and CeCe Winans names
around
each other.
Okay. Yeah.
Snap. For all of us who've been Christian music fans for a long time, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So if you've been following this for a while, you can understand.
You're old like us.
That's what you're saying. We know that's what you're saying.
Crown of glory, baby. Crown of glory.
Hey, at least you got hair.
Yeah. L'Oreal, baby. L'Oreal.
Oh man.
Well,
this is just going to be awesome. We're so excited. Thank you so much for being a part of it. And please say thanks to those involved. I just, again, can't wait to see what God does.
Well, thanks for supporting it. And we'll see you guys.
Yeah. We love you, bro. We're glad you're still alive and breathing.
Glad to be said, huh?
Man. I can't, I had to swing at that one. It's just sitting there. It's really great to see you guys too. And thanks for letting me come on and chat.